Well, this work here is called Eucalyptus, which is fairly obvious. It was from the Wynne Prize at the Arco in New South Wales in 2011. It was done as a one-off for that prize. The inspiration for this work was very simply, Murray Bale is a very old family friend of mine, of my father's, and I had a running gag with Murray Bale for years that I never read any of his books. I didn't like his writing, right? But I admired him hugely as a person. And then a very good friend of mine, Aidan Young, an actor who used to live in Sydney, he told me the background story to the film that was being made. About 2010, they were making a film of it. Jocelyn Moorhouse was making the film. They had all the sets built up around Bellingen. Russell Crowe was involved, a lot of big people, and the whole thing got canned basically the day before they went and started shooting, right? But what he told me was that the actual film had been set up years before with Jocelyn Moorhouse with a very different cast, right? And as these things do, they rolled along. Russell Crowe was involved as a producer. He wanted to up it, bigger names or whatever. So the cast that had originally been pulled up to do it, which was perfect, a young Abby Cornish, which was perfect for the role and age, was replaced with a Nicole Kidman, which was much older. Anyway, it was just a background story, and because of my love of film, I love the idea that this what-if film that didn't get made was going to be made with this huge cast, and then it didn't get made as well. So it was really, I guess it's almost a personal in-joke. It involves knowing the story, the background story, but also the relationship with my father, Murray Bale. So that's that one. I've always loved film posters. I have a pretty big collection. I run a little vintage shop where I sell old posters. I've always loved really good graphic design. Always loved clean, beautiful design as well. So often in my work, there's a real battle between the complexity of lots and lots of elements, right? And the desire actually to keep it really clean and simple. So I guess what I often try to do is I try to build a work on a macro and micro scale where from a distance with you guys standing back looking at it, it can read sort of, it can have a sort of visual punch or whatever and simplicity, but if you're getting close, it's got all the little details that you can sort of pick out of it. But it is often, it's difficult. This is a really relatively pared back piece, which I like about it. You know, I did really try to keep it very simple, 3 big blocks, the green, the white and the red. These little 3 works here and these 3 works were from a show from Kodachrome, and it was a much looser conceptually. It really was just a play on the idea that I'm an analogue person, right? I've been sort of, as I've got older, I've obviously brought up in the digital age and I love digital technology and everything, but I have younger children, a 17-year-old and a girl and a 13-year-old boy who have obviously been brought up completely in a digital age, right? Where there's just this overwhelming, the amount of images that they collect and have. What I've noticed about them is that I'm obviously obsessed and I love materiality of things and objects. My house is full of bits and pieces. I've been a collector all my life. Not obsessively one particular thing, but lots of things, more like a bowerbird approach. So there'll be a few of everything. You know, a collection has got to be 3. That's just something everyone should know. Less than 3, it's not a collection, but 3 and above, you've got a collection. This show was more to do with the idea that I invest, the objects and things that I collect, I realise they hold my memories, right? I don't even look at photographs really anymore except for old ones in my mum's photo album, right? We all probably have it. We have millions of digital images on our computer, but I don't remember the last time I actually looked through my photo files from the last 10 or 15 years. And it just occurred to me that I'm surrounded by things that I actually hold my memories. I'll look at bits and pieces in the house or in my studio, and it'll instantly take me back to where I found it, or maybe another home it was sitting in at an event. So this show was a play on the idea that the objects that surround us, you know, hold our memories as well. So I wanted to build these little collages to try to reflect that. I don't know how successful it is. Part of this show as well as I really was kind of very much focused on trying to create something a little more, I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I wanted to create quite a beautiful show and something quite intimate. So I wanted to include lots of delicate little pieces in it. But these works are on old pianola scroll, which again is analogue. It's so analogue, it's ridiculous, but it also has that it could be punch cards from a computer era from 20, 30 years ago. So I love the duality of the pianola roll. Getting to the flow through, I wanted pianola rolls through a piano, right? And basically it rolls through, then you rethread it and you roll it again and it just keeps rolling through. So the idea with these works was to take a central motif, I guess, and then try to, I guess, have it dissolve. So I'm not expecting it. Was, look, like I said, it was a play on the idea of memory and how intangible it is.
But that is memory, isn't it? Memory can be quite a solid idea that it morphs and has different outcomes.
Exactly. So that was kind of the idea that these images, I mean, this one, I mean, you can see that the colour is picked up in each one, so I'm taking, I guess, what is a graphic image in each one and then having it dissolve